How's it going, everybody? CityZilla here, and we are going to be working on our new city today. We do have a few things that I want to work on. We are definitely having some issues over here related to not having enough workers, and it's mostly because we built out this huge farming area, which is competing for our current residents, which really aren't a lot, 5,572. So I think we're going to be building out a residential expansion, probably right here as well, and then also working on some path networks, and then some landscaping and kind of making the place look a little better, kind of changing up some of these dirt roads, and then preparing for some changes that we're going to be doing. I had received the suggestion for the dam. I talked about it in the last episode, and I think it's a really good idea. I am going to try to search for a way for us to maybe do the ferries around it, or possibly even just do another canal that will have the ferries on it. But I think it would be a really eco-minded approach to electricity that the city would probably most likely use. Dams are pretty popular, especially with waterways like this. And then right now, the city is called Santa Palma. That's just the name that it was given. I do want to choose a name that one of my viewers has suggested. So if you guys come up with anything cool, I was originally thinking Canalville, but I'm not sure. I mean, you guys will probably come up with something cool. Just go ahead and let me know in the comments below. And then I think I'm going to come up with like a little emblem for it, just so that we can have some way to designate the episodes with the thumbnails. But I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below again. And thank you so much for the comments so far. I super appreciate it. For a smaller YouTube channel, it's definitely hard to get it going, and I really appreciate the support. And so let's go ahead and jump right in. And so first off, our biggest concern is residents. And so I think what we are going to do is just build out a little residential neighborhood. What we're going to do first is build this road across, just so we can provide some access for employees and for this area to where they don't have to go into the middle section. Maybe I thought it was a really good idea. I'm having some issues with this, so I think I'm going to build the bridge first. So we want it to be like right about there. I think that would be good. And then so we'll come down here and just connect that guy up. I wish that was more straight, but that's not the end of the world. The key is that it's straighter on this side, and so what I wanted to do was create space for us to keep that same residential idea that we had prior, and so we are going to line this guy up. Yeah, there you go. And then let's add in some connections. So we'll probably just add this guy in since it's already a connection, and then let's go ahead and put in a bigger 4-lane road up here. And I think that should be good. This right here could potentially be an issue, but I'm hoping with the other routes that it's not going to be. But I still do have something special in store for this freeway. We're going to end up moving it and changing it in a certain way here in a few episodes. We're just waiting to reach, I think, 10,000 population. We end up getting the train station, which I think we're going to end up putting here, and then we also get the dam, and so we're going to be changing a few things. And so I do want to come up here, so we'll go 3. And then let's go ahead and let's go 1 in the middle. And then let's, hate to put it right there, but I think that's probably going to be our best bet. Then we'll come out here. And we'll come out here. Yeah, there you go. And I think even having that connection there is probably good. Then we'll do the same thing over here. And we'll probably... Yeah, you know what? I think that looks pretty good. It's not exactly what I was going for, but I think it's going to work for our purpose, and so... And there you go. We'll connect that guy up. And you know what? We could just do a small one on this side. I think because it's so close to the freeway, though, maybe we'll just leave that like that. And I think that's a pretty good little neighborhood. I think we could even expand this guy up one more, maybe. I think that could be good. Maybe we'll even... Of course, it's not going to be... Yeah, you know what? Because then it kind of fills in the space, but it still gives a nice little gap for the freeway. And then this is just a nice little addition for our city. Nothing too crazy. It's just going to be low-density residential, and so we really don't need to worry too much about traffic. Once we start getting into high density, then we really need to focus on a little bit better of road networks. But for neighborhoods like this, you can get away with the more unique designs. And so I do want to put down a couple parks. So I think we're just gonna, because I really like these big ones. We'll put one right there. Yeah, I think especially for the whole beach vibe, I like having the little plazas in there and then the walking paths. I think it just looks really good. And I think we'll even add in another one over here. Yeah, there you go. And then let's just put an elementary. You know what? I don't know. So we have 4 elementaries right there. It looks like we could definitely use an elementary over in this area, so maybe we'll work on that area too. But I think for this area we're probably good. And so let's just go ahead and zone it in. I'm going to go ahead and use the little brush tool. I'm going to leave the outsides empty just because it is a little bit closer to the highway over there. Maybe we'll zone it in. Because normally with a house like that, you would end up having a wall anyways, and so it's not like the house would just be leading right up to the freeway. So yeah, maybe we'll just do that, because that ideally would be how it would be set up. They would have like a back wall kind of protecting them from the freeway. And we'll go like that. And we'll come over here and we'll do this one too, just so that we can get that exposure. We can even go like that. We'll go too shy of that corner. And then before we hit play, let's go ahead, because we've learned from our past mistakes of demolishing homes in the name of paths and, you know, dealing with that whole revolt. I think what we're going to do is put down some paths, and I know these actually, that one has a sidewalk, so that's good. I'm not going to put one here though, because these highways technically don't have sidewalks. It'd be kind of weird to allow walking on freeways. I think that'd be pretty unsafe. Though you do see it sometimes with people like hitchhikers or something like that. It's just generally not a safe thing to do. I definitely wouldn't recommend it. And so we'll go like that, and then let's turn this back on. Let's see if we can. It's not gonna let me. So we'll go like that, and we'll just we have to choose a side. So we'll go like that. And here we can go in the middle because of the road. And here as well. And you know what? I think that's pretty good. We could even do one in the middle here, but because these streets don't line up perfectly, I think it's going to look a little weird. But we could put one over here. I think this would be a good place for one. Remember, put in access. And then what we're going to do on the outside here is some commercial zoning. And because of the bumpiness of this area, it looks like it's not going to give us perfect little zoning, but that's alright. We still get a little bit of shops, and honestly, I prefer these little shops near residential areas. I think they're a little better. And then we could even put that guy in now. And then let's go ahead and hit play and see what kind of issues we have. How are we doing on water? So we got pretty good water availability and sewage, and pretty good electricity right now, though we are going to need to upgrade those eventually. And then our garbage is doing pretty good. Our processing is dipping down a little bit, but it's just because we're growing so quickly. But we are making some pretty good money. Having these dirt roads has really helped out a lot. And what I'm thinking now is once this residential neighborhood kind of grows up, builds out, it should fix a lot of our issues with not having enough workers over here, ideally. And so while we're waiting for that, what I want to do is add in some walking paths down here, because I took this idea from Boston. Boston has these kind of split highways, and initially I was thinking we would put roads that would kind of tunnel under these intersections, but I think because they're low density, it's not going to really be needed. And so I was kind of playing around like, alright, well, what could we do? And I think by doing just a nice path network, it's going to really promote more pedestrian access and bicycles as well, and then it actually looks really good. We'll put down some palm trees since we are in more of a tropical oasis style map, and I think it looks cool. And so there we go, and then let's go in here, and I actually have some pretty nice little palm tree guys too. Yeah, these ones right here, TPB, and there it's unknown. And here we go. We'll just go all the way down. Yeah, there we go. And then, you know, look, there's people already using it, and because I think what's going to happen is people walking from over here, they're going to end up cutting down this middle section, and it just is going to provide some really good access. And another thing I wanted to do was start thinking about bike access. Right now we have this 3-lane one-way with these little trees, which is really nice. But I think by putting in this 3-lane one-way road with bike lanes, it would be a little more functional. It's going to really help to promote more bicycle usage, which is super important. Though I wish it did have trees on this one. I could choose one with 2 lanes, but you know what? Maybe we'll try that, because that could be good. It comes with parking too. And because the commercial is right there, that could actually be a little bit better. So you get the bike lane access, you get the parking, and you get the little tree, which is pretty nice. And there you go. And it's facing the right way. Yep. And I like these ones too because they're the separated bike paths. And so you still get, like, you can already see people using it, but then there's also I believe there's parking. Yeah, so parking is on the other side of the street with this designated lane. So instead of having the 3rd lane, it's just the parking spaces, which is really nice. Especially since we got all these commercial these commercial buildings right here. And then I think we'll end up just leaving the rest of this grass. This would be just a really nice pathway. And we might end up upgrading this path at some point, though I think this standard path looks pretty good with these little lights. Though maybe, I think having benches would actually be pretty good. And the other paths still do allow bike access up. Doesn't look like we have them just yet, so we won't worry about it. We actually could do that. Let's see how this one looks. So I'm pretty sure this one still allows bicycles. Let's see, because we have the bike paths now, I don't know if any bicycles actually going to be using this path, but we'll see. Let's see if any bicyclists get off their bike. Come on, come on. You know what? I think because the road's there, maybe they're just, the bicyclists are using the roads now. And so we are just going to use this road, because it has the benches, and it'll just be a little bit nicer. And it looks nicer too. Kind of looks a little cleaner. This is the park path. And there you go. Look, it's already. People are already using it. And then I think I'm going to go into node controller as well and create some little crosswalks. So we'll go like that. And then we'll come over here. We'll go like that. Like that. And we'll leave that one empty for right now. And what that does is it just allows these people to cross right here rather than having to go down to the corner. It's a little more realistic. You see these a lot in cities where they have the crosswalk in the middle of the street. It's just a really nice feature. And so, a couple other things I wanted to do. This dirt road, main road, would be kind of weird for us to leave like that. And so I think, again, we're going to use a bike lane road. Maybe we'll go something bigger. 4-lane with trams, bikes. Do I have like a 6-lane boulevard? So, large road with bike and tram. We have the regular vanilla 6-lane road with bicycles, which isn't bad, but I was hoping for something with trees. So here, I think this one's good. This is a 4-lane boulevard. It comes with little benches, and then it has the trees and the bike lanes. And so this road actually ends up working out really well. And it looks nice. Initially, I was going to turn this into a 1-way, but I think it's working out pretty good as a 2-way. But maybe as the city expands, we'll end up adjusting that. But I think we will come in here, upgrade these roads too. I think for right now, we won't mess with the bike roads on the insides of these neighborhoods. But maybe as the city expands, we'll decide to put bike lanes in a little bit more. But I think by just having it on the bigger roads, this would already provide a ton of great access. Oh, hey, look, big town, nice. So we got another square. We got campuses, which is pretty good. We are going to be building out a college campus at some point, though I don't think we will be doing it for a few episodes. But, oh, we got Metro, which is nice. It's kind of funny you unlock Metro before train. But then Sports Arena, Level 5 Unique Buildings, Blimp, Intercity Bus, which we do need to put down a bus network. Bus networks are super important. And we'll put this guy down here too, though. I don't like the look of those trees. They're all dying. And there you go. And then let's go ahead and do the same thing for this guy. And so we'll go back to that 2-lane with the parking and the bike path. Yeah, nice. Look at that. I don't know how well this one will be utilized, as it's not... I mean, some people are using it. So there you go. And then we can add in that little crosswalk right here too. Yeah, there you go. Wham bam. And I think that's pretty good. I think upgrading this road down here would probably be smart. Yeah, there we go. Oh, look. We are now having to have water availability and sewage problems. And so we have 2 water towers right there, but then we also have 1 water tower down here, kind of tucked in the back. I think I'm just going to go ahead and put one back there with it. It's kind of funny, you don't normally see 2 water towers right next to each other, but I'm not exactly certain of the science involved with water tower placements, like maybe it has to do with the well underground or the pressure that is created by the water tower in relation to the local water system. So it's probably not incredibly realistic that they're right next to each other, but I think it's going to serve our purpose, and so we're just going to leave it like that. And then I think for this guy, since we were having those issues, what we're going to do is just demolish some industrial. They were all going abandoned anyways, though I don't think they are anymore. We do need another treatment plant, so it'd be a needed upgrade. And then we do need electricity as well, so I'm going to go ahead and pause. And we did unlock the oil power plant, which gives us 120 megawatts versus the 40 from the coal. So I'm going to go ahead and delete one of these guys and then put the oil in its place. Just because this is really going to pump up our electricity consumption, so we didn't need that coal power plant to be there anymore. Like you can already see, so 121 consumption with now 200 megawatts used. So we could even delete like maybe 1 more of those, but I think we'll leave it for right now. And so this neighborhood is looking pretty good. Do we have any issues? Let's look at our coverage. So we have our utilities down there. You know what? Just based off the fire, it being that red, we're going to go ahead and place these guys right here on the main road. So it's going to really help with upgrading, but it's also going to help keep the neighborhood safe. And another thing I noticed is this area over here is actually not doing too well. We do have some services right there, but this residential and industrial area is definitely in need. And so we're going to place that guy. We're going to place that guy. And we're going to place that guy. And I think I just put the medical clinic backwards. I did. Did I put that backwards too? No. Yeah, look at that. They're happy, they're sad. They're happy, they're sad. So that's nice. And then that should help with upgrading over here. Oh yeah, you can already see all these people. They're like, yeah, we finally got safety, we got coverage, a little medical clinic and fire department. It's just an upgrade frenzy now. I don't know if you guys can hear the clicking, but it's just non-stop, all the bells. That's good, even this section over here. And so let's go ahead and fill in this space right here, and we'll probably follow a similar methodology to what we already have. And so we'll go like that, and then we'll slope too steep. So let's see. That's not even a steep slope. Huh. Okay. Well, it's kind of weird, but it works. And then over here, what we can do, maybe we'll add in a road right here. And then let's go ahead and add in some water pipes. Voila. And then I do want to continue on just a small bit of commercial. And then let's put in some walking paths before we forget. And it does look like we unlocked them. Man, how did we forget this guy? He's just demolishing houses. This is terrible. Oh, there you go. Sorry, guys. And it looks like we didn't really get any walking paths up here either. Guess I had forgotten to come back over there. That's alright. Just isn't ideal. It's not ideal. So there we go. And then we can fill this in with more residential. Yeah, there we go. And it looks like we do have room for a park, though it's pretty close to that industrial area. I wonder if we can place it, and we'll see. I'm going to do this big one that fits perfectly in there. There you go. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like the trees are dead. You can definitely see them turning brown on this side, but they're not like these, where it almost looks like fall. That's good. Even the commercial and the industrial are kind of upgrading. They're like, yeah, we got park access. Because it's kind of funny, that's something that's overlooked a lot. You know, parks do affect land values in industrial areas as well. Having that, you know, amenity is still really nice for the workers and for the area, and so it does promote those buildings upgrading too. And it's something that, I mean, I don't even think about it a whole ton. And so what can we do with the rest of this little space right here? We could turn this into a park, but I think we're going to end up turning this into a park over here. But I think maybe because that's right next to the water, this would end up being a really good space for a park too. So maybe we'll end up keeping those both as parks. Because I do want to go for a really park heavy kind of green city. How did that happen? Okay. Yeah, it's better. There you go. I'm guessing it's just because the elevation change in there, the game kind of messed up. And then for that, we'll do the park. I think on the next episode, we'll actually just dedicate the whole episode to parks. And then this one, we will finish doing all this stuff. I do want to leave this empty until we do get the train access, which does come at 10,000 population. It's so weird that you unlock Metro first. Train would be, I mean, the first. The first unlock would be train, and then probably tram, and I mean, in the natural course of things, trains and trams came first. But I think the game, they decided to do it because the train lines a lot of times aren't accessible early on, and so I do think we are going to upgrade this side. And so let's continue on with our bike lane road. And I was thinking it'd be really cool to add in like the hypermarket or some sort of unique building over here. Just because I don't want to just wait until... Why is this going down all of a sudden? It's so weird. It wasn't doing that a second ago, now it's just hiccuping. The game's having an issue. I mean, we could keep it like that and it'd be kind of like a water ride. I just, you know, if I came across it in a car, I don't know how safe I would feel about that. It's kind of funny, I just recently saw a video on YouTube that was talking about a bridge that had been built. I think it was in like Canada or Tacoma, Washington maybe, where it was just swaying all over the place, and it actually took the bridge crumbling for the city to redo it. But it would sway. People would just go and watch it. There's like recordings of the bridge swaying. But I think having the bridge go down in the water probably isn't the safest. And this one doesn't come with the little arches, but I think having the little benches on there would be really nice. Like you'd be able to just go sit on the bench, kind of watch the water flow underneath you. That'd be kind of a cool little feature. And then I think we will turn this guy into a tunnel because we want to continue on this road, and I don't want it to connect to this road right here. And you know what? I think that looks pretty good, and we could even add in a couple walking paths around it, or we could have the tunnel butt up. But I think having the tunnel a little bit away is probably a little safer, especially for pedestrians maybe on the road. I do think this guy is backwards. And then let's go ahead and create another neighborhood. Yeah, there you go. And then I think for this side what we'll do is create a nice little space for us to put a unique building right there. And then probably some shopping, and we'll landscape it up. And then we'll probably have some walking paths that actually lead into the big park area, kind of out onto the water. And I do think we will turn that into a park area as well. Just because I really think having the green cities is nice. So let's come in here, create some connections. There we go. We'll keep that like that. We need to put in some paths. Let's go ahead and do our water pipes first. And there we go. And then we want some parks. And I think we may want to do... maybe we'll do 2 parks. No, you know what? We'll leave one of those empty. And let's go ahead and look at our schooling. So we have 4 elementaries right there. We have a serious issue over here. So I think we will place 1 elementary right there. And then we have nothing literally. Oh, you know what? It's so funny. We had... So we'll go ahead and dezone that and then put in another elementary right there. Yeah, there you go. And then let's look at our high schools too. So we have 2 high schools over here. Man, we had just completely neglected this area. I think right here would be a good spot for a high school. And then let's go ahead and put a library right across the street. There you go. So the library covers a lot of that area. We only have 1 library right there. I'd really like us to have more libraries than that. On the last series, we had libraries pretty much everywhere, and it was really cool because once you unlock more of the policies and you can get the book fair, and it's just really nice to have libraries. And it's something that is pretty integral to cities too. So I think, you know, these are higher volume roads right here, and so I think maybe we will add 1 library right there. And we'll come over here and do the same thing. We'll add 1 library right there. And so it's not the greatest of coverage, but I think having them on the outside of this little ring over here would be a nice feature. Because we could add 1 back here too, but I think that's more of a neighborhood. And so I think that's probably pretty good. Let's look at our coverages though. So I think we are going to need to put in some more services. We'll put these guys right next to each other. That's kind of funny. You would probably never see them right next to each other, but for the sake of the game, we'll just do it like that. I don't think we need another elementary school over here. Maybe we'll put in a different kind of park rather than that big one we've been putting everywhere. Because we could do a tennis court or a basketball court. That could be good. Yeah, there you go. And then we could even put a couple little trees around it too. Yeah, maybe we'll put a couple palm trees around it. Yeah, there you go. It's like a little tropical basketball court oasis. And so we have commercial now, or we have residential. We just need to do a smidge of commercial. And so we'll come up here, go like that, go like that, and then we'll do the same thing over here. Oh, you know what? That's so funny. I did it on the wrong side. It's supposed to be on the main road. It's the 4 going this way. And there you go. So we'll go up to the tunnel. And then we'll come up over here. And we don't need it because we're going to extend on this road. We don't really need to do that just yet. But we will come in here. I think I'm going to get rid of that. We'll go like that. And then let's go ahead and I messed up again. We're going to have to demolish some homes just in the name of paths. This would be a huge deal. They'd probably kick me out of office for this. We have demolished quite a few homes for paths. Yeah, this would, these people would probably be really upset. Probably be Like accused of being in collusion with the concrete industry or something. Like he's just trying to get his friend's money. And there you go. So now we can unpause. And then let's put in some paths down here. Commercial buildings, I mean, that's, you know, I can see getting away with a little easier, but the residential ones, like actually demolishing people's homes just for paths, would be a little less realistic. I'm pretty sure people would be really upset about that. I mean, the commercial buildings as well, but this actually does provide a good service. Allows people to walk over to them much easier. And so right now, the only way to get over here is to actually duck down through here. And so I do want to create some access for that neighborhood. So let's come down here. And we're going to go like that. And we're going to come down. And, you know, we're kind of following this same pattern all the way down, which isn't bad. We definitely have a good system in place. But I think it would be smart to create a little bit of difference maybe somewhere. Like maybe have some connections right here. I think that could be smart. Maybe if we just add on this road up here. But then it's going to start, people are going to come up here and funnel. It would be better if it was off of these roads. Maybe if we had like one ways. Let's see if we can squeeze in like a small... I think that would actually be kind of nice to have. It's almost like a freeway entrance, but it's just a road that provides a little bit of access for this area. And so I think we'll kind of copy it over here. It would be better if it was a little further away. No, you know what? It's not great that these two intersections are right next to each other. I'm kind of hoping that because they're lower volume, it will help out. Did I put in a tram road here or something? No, I did. That's so funny. Did we do tram roads all the way? No, it's just that one section. I guess I had done our tram road instead. So we will go back and kind of change this guy up because we definitely don't need tram access right now. That's maybe why that bridge had messed up when we went across. We didn't mess up on any of the other ones, right? Well, that hill is kind of a little steep. I think we're pretty good. We have some good access. I think by adding in those, it's going to potentially create some issues, but I guess we'll see. Because it might even be better for us to just create access elsewhere. But we'll see. We might come back through here and delete that because this just doesn't seem incredibly realistic having these intersections. You know, I don't feel okay about it. We're gonna go ahead and delete it. It would just be too many intersections right there. It would create a whole mess. Yeah, because they can go down and hop on over here. Same with these people, they can go around. Yeah, there you go. And so let's put this path up here. I like how this is turning out. I initially was going to do those tunnels, but I think by having this nice pathway down the middle, this would just be great access for these people. And that's really what we're trying to create here, is a nice pedestrian-friendly city. So we're going to go like that. We're going to go like that. And we'll go like that, even though there's nothing really to cross over there just yet. And then we could do... Let's do some palm trees around this guy. Yeah, there you go. It's a little bit of shade for it, or blocking so that you can't see it as much, but just kind of help to decorate up the tunnels a little bit. Because I could put zoning in here, I don't think it would be that great. So we could do some trees right here too, I guess, but we'll leave it like that for now. It looks like we are having some issues. I'm going to guess this is the same issue we were having before, not enough. Oh, worker education too low. Okay. So let's go ahead and look at that. Let's look at our education. So we have great elementary access. We have no university access, which is okay for us right now. We have pretty decent elementary access, though. This neighborhood is kind of far. And we have okay high school access. I guess it's just going to take some time. Though we still do have a pretty high need for residential. So I think what we'll do is start building up over here, but I really want to... I want to bury this freeway line. Because when I was in Boston, I had driven through their downtown area, and I thought it was just really cool that they had underwent a huge freeway infrastructure project where they buried the freeway in their downtown section. And so I think what we're going to do is this entire freeway section is going to wrap around and eventually connect up here, but it's going to be entirely underground. And it's going to help free up some space so that, you know, as you guys know, freeways can be, I mean, huge eyesores for a city and take up a ton of space. And so having it underground is really beneficial. And I had actually talked to a local in Boston, and they had said that it freed up so much space. It was just crazy for them to be able to do that. It did take a long time for them to do it, but it did help out the city a lot in the long run. And so I think for this area, because we do need to do some more residential, but I think for this episode we'll just put down a unique building right here. And I was kind of looking at something along the lines of here, the basic ones. So just the regular landmarks. But I was thinking the hypermarket. I think this would just be a nice area for it. Was it the hypermarket or was it the department store? I don't understand. Maybe I just need to... I'll level it out real quick. Yeah, I think we'll do the hypermarket. It's a little bit bigger, but it allows us to... I don't want it to put that X on the outside though. So let's... Not the X, the ledge. I think that would be nice. I think this would... Because these are loading docks. Having this like this probably isn't the most realistic. So let's see if we can add in just a small little road around it. Because if we can't, I think we should move this over just a smidge. Yeah, you know what? It looks like it does work. And then I'm just going to Control H that guy. Control H. Control H. And there we go. Having this little edge here isn't terrible. But now, realistically, trucks would be able to come into the back, and then there'd be some nice parking, and then we can do maybe like a sports complex. I think that could actually be good. We haven't used any of the medical assets like the gymnasium or the community pool. So sports hall and gymnasium. So I think we'll add that, and then we'll do the community pool, and then we'll do a sauna, and then did we get the yoga garden yet? No, not yet. So 10,000. But we could do a cemetery. I think this would be actually a really nice area for a cemetery. And so, when we only have one cemetery so far, and so this would actually provide some good access too. But this would be, I mean, a really pretty final resting place. Like if somebody was choosing a cemetery to go to, this would definitely be one of the better ones. Like right on the water, you got these rocks right there. It's just really pretty. And then having this shopping mall with the sports hall and gymnasium and everything. This just really helps with land value, and then it's really nice to have it all in one area. And so let's go ahead and look at our land value now. It actually isn't that high. I think it's because none of these are upgraded yet. Yeah. Once these get upgraded a little higher, then our land value should balance out. Like you can see a little bit of green right here just because of the coastline, but the rest is just kind of lighter greens. And you can see this area because it is... Well, yeah, that's almost level 4. Almost level 4. No, that's level 3, so a lot of these are already getting pretty high. Yeah, look at that. That's almost level 5. And so as these upgrade, it'll kind of follow the same suit. I do kind of wish that this was level, though. It kind of bothers me that it's overhanging a little bit. But I think this road is actually not going to be affected by it. Not, you know what? And we wouldn't want to put residential right there anyways, and so I think we'll leave it like that. And then if we do decide at some point that it doesn't fit in, maybe we'll change it. But I think it's good for right now. Not enough goods to sell. That means they're not getting enough deliveries, or there's not enough industrial in the city, and we have no industrial demand. We still have, I mean, a ton of abandoned buildings, even though we have added to our residential quite a bit by adding in this neighborhood and in that neighborhood. But we definitely do need to add in some more. But I think that's it for this episode. We did a lot. We added this nice little shopping center, a couple neighborhoods, and I think on the next episode we will work on hitting that 10,000 mark. So we'll probably start mapping out a network for over here, and then we'll change this intersection and probably start working on that freeway. And if you guys have any suggestions, go ahead and let me know. I was planning on doing a train station right here in the middle, doing something really cool with some walking paths and some nice landscaping, and then probably adding in bus access too, and just making it a really pretty area like transit terminal hub. But if you guys think I should just do like a landmark building in the middle, maybe, or maybe even a couple, because we could reserve the transit terminal for a more downtowny type area, and then keep this one more for like a parkish kind of vibe. But I think we will end up working on these as parks as well. And so there's, I mean, a ton in the pipeline that we're going to be working on, because we still need to do the ferries. And man, there's just so much that we could do with this map, especially because there's so much space and we haven't even really touched the coastline yet. Because we got like potential for tourism and casino, and I mean just all kinds of cool stuff. And we only have one industrial area right now with the farming. We haven't touched any factories, and we're still making great money. I mean, we're almost at $1 million. But yeah, if you guys have any suggestions, go ahead and let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you on the next episode.